Ah, Kamen Rider, always finding a way to make two things work when they really shouldn't. Case in point, video games and doctors, and tanks and rabbits. I swear this will make sense after I explain everything. Hey guys, welcome back to the Inner Recesses of my mind, and today we're going to be talking about two of the Heisei Generation Collection characters that are from the line of SH Figuarts. Now, basically, this is supposed to be, if I looked at the actual information right, when they were announcing these characters, they were actually going to take specific riders from the Heisei Generations finale movie and make SH Figuart figures of them, or just repackaging them and bringing them back out at a good price. Because let's be honest, trying to find their regular figures was already kind of stressful as it was. But hey, I was able to get my hands on two of them. And these two are actually my favorites out of the Heisei era. Don't get me wrong, I have others too, but these I knew I can get my hands on without a problem. So, let's go in order. I'm going to give you the cliff notes because I have to cover basically the summary plots of two shows. Good? Good. Emu Hoju is an intern working at a children's hospital trying to become the best doctor he can be. A long time ago, he was saved by the very doctors that inspired him to become who he is today. He was also a really good gamer. This is going to be important because the virus that he's going to be going up against later on in the series is called the Bugser virus. Nobody at the time knew where this thing came from. All we know is it infects people, attacks them, and goes after their stress. It feeds off of their stress, making themselves stronger, so they can take over the body. If the virus is not extracted and killed before it takes over the host, it kills the host and becomes them, and walks around and do whatever they want to. But for some odd reason, it's also based off video game creatures from actual popular video games in this series. Emu is actually looking after one of the children there, but unfortunately, he didn't know about the virus, and when it started attacking people, he felt hopeless. Luckily, one of the people close by just happened to be the nurse that's supposed to be finding the legendary gamer known as M. She found him as Emu. He took the driver that she gave him, which is the video game driver, a very big, and I mean big driver with a gashat. Think of a gashat as the gimmick for the actual season, or should I say, more likely they're cartridges like a video game. It makes perfect sense actually. So anyway, how it works is you have to fight the virus in level 1. When you're level 1, you're like this big bulky version of your character. And once you extract the virus, you can destroy it at level 2. And he does a really good job of it. Throughout the series, he does this with other Kamen Riders down the road as well too, and other shenanigans. But here's where we get to our second rider. At the end of Kamen Rider XA's solo movie after the season ended, we're introduced to a mysterious red and blue rider. Comes out of nowhere, beats Emu and his partner at the time, Aparoid, and extracts powers from Emu. No one understands at the time what just happened, but all we know is this Kamen Rider is known as Kamen Rider Build. He comes with two bottles, or one bottle, and extracts what looks like actual the energy from Emu. Come to find out, it was his element. What does that mean? Well, let's skip over to our next rider. Like I said, Kamen Rider Build. Build is a very peculiar case. While on an expedition to Mars, one of the astronauts uncovers a mysterious box. And of course, like always, hey, let's bring it to Earth. What could possibly go wrong? Everything went wrong. And I mean everything went wrong. The exact astronaut that found the box during a press conference activates it, and it creates this thing called the Skywall and splits Japan into 3 sections. Said astronaut went into a coma, people start acting weird, and it started emitting a weird gas from the actual walls themselves. Nobody understood why, but it had very, very catastrophic results. I feel like I have a hard time always pronouncing that word. Catastrophic. Anyway, a lot of the nation's head people of the government kind of went crazy, except for the prime minister. His son was there. You won't find out till later that he's actually crazy because of this. But anyway, a reporter is trying to get more information about the situation that happened years ago. And the current, because it actually time skipped a little bit. We've been living with the sky wall, but unfortunately, Japan has not exactly been the best place to be because of the sky wall. It's also caused the crops to actually go bad, so it's kind of hard to actually like really farm and do what you have to do. What makes it worse is weird, mysterious creatures called Smash have been appearing left and right, and that red and blue rider I mentioned earlier, Kamen Rider build, has been beating them and extracting said element from them with these mysterious bottles. Then we find out who our actual hero is. Kiryu Sento is an amnesiac that just so happens to be a very smart physicist. We don't know everything about him at the time, but we know he's linked to this. How? Well, I don't want to spoil too much. That's what the interesting thing about Kamen Rider Build is. Just when you think you have the answer to one question, another thread comes, and then another thread, and another thread, and another thread. It always keeps you guessing. What's happening? Who was Kiryu? Who was Sento in the past before all this happened? What does Banjo have to do with any of this? He's the secondary writer, by the way. And just, who was that astronaut? That's the thing I love about Build. Because you always just have to keep watching to figure out what's next, or what new clue, or what new, like, development just pops off. Okay, so, I ordered these, I want to say a little bit around my birthday or so, and they came a lot faster than I thought, which, honestly, nice. But I know another one of the figures that I pre-ordered from Pete Bandai should be coming here too, so probably at the time of recording, it hasn't gotten here. More than likely, it'll be here later on this week. So, we'll worry about him later. Right now, let's get into figure number one. Because, in the previous part of the video, I mentioned I got 2 figures. Well, actually, I got 3, but we'll talk about that third one later. Let's go in order, shall we? These are from the Heisei Generations Edition relaunch, well, or should I say, bringbacks of these actual figures. So, I'm actually kind of happy about that because tracking these figures down is a lot easier than trying to find the originals. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind having the originals, but these are actually not that bad either. So, first figure first, we're going to be looking at Dr. Imu Hoju, aka Kamen Rider Ex-Aid, in his level 2 gamer form. Let's go ahead. Canonically in the series, this one takes place before the other one I'm going to be showing off. I'm going to go ahead and just cut both sides in, so make it easier. Safety first, people. Let's go ahead and crack him open. I like the box, especially the black. Okay. Got inside little instructions. I never actually showed this part off whenever I unbox them because it shows like the hands as well as like the other things like the handle, because apparently the handle is switchable because his weapon of choice is actually his Gachikon Breaker, which is a hammer, but it also has a second feature, shocker, it turns into a sword. Let's go ahead and get this out. And a couple of his hands went flying in the back. Oh. No biggie. Let's go ahead and get him out, shall we? I'll play with his sword in a second. Or should I say his hammer anyway. But we're going to do like we always do. First things first, I'm going to get a look at the figure itself. Colors are very bright and vibrant. You got his game driver, as well as his Gachon. Now, his faceplate from his level 1 form. Let's go ahead and do my favorite part of doing these figures. Got that part. At first, when I watched this season, the costumes took it out for me. I really couldn't dig it. But the more I watched it, the more the show grew on me, especially with the topic at hand, dealing with stress and everything like that. Hold up. Gotta. Okay. I was waiting for a click. But yeah. So far, the arm articulation is actually really good and expressive. But I was like, he's a little stiff in the neck, but work that out. Alright. We got the colors. He's very bright, which honestly, like I said, the pink at first threw me off, but the more I watched it, the more I got to love the character and respected him. So, it wasn't that hard to get over, honestly. Like I said, the goggles I thought was crazy at first, especially around the eyes. But yeah, also, can this come out? Nope. Finally, a gimmick that doesn't actually make me terrified. But he does do that because, like I said, it's like an actual game driver. So the door closes when he's like specific uses of it. The thing I love about the most is, hold on, let me turn the camera off right quick. The thing I love about it is you can actually see when you get real close, it projects like the actual form of the character when they transform. Cool. This is the part where he holds all his gadgets, which is like the other things that they use for their transformations. Depending on the game, because this is based off of video games and stuff like that, they get different power-ups. One more thing that I always thought was funny. If you look real close, you can see a life bar that actually is important, because if it drops to 0 in the show, game over. Literally. Huh, cool. Now, I mentioned his weapon earlier. I'm just going to go ahead and have it in sword form. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind the hammer. If anything, I kind of thought that it was just going to be able to extend, but no. Oh, wait. Gotta fit it with the lineup. Okay. Here we go. And now the hand. See, this is the thing that I like about this figure art compared to the last one. Don't get me wrong, Gaboots, as a Kiryu Red wasn't a bad figure at first until I start playing with the hands. That's when I got irritated. Ah! Alright. Alright. Come on. Stop fighting me. Give me a second. Okay, that took longer than it needed to get a hand onto a figure. Okay. There we go. Like I said, the articulation for the actual figure itself is actually really good. The shoulders are what you would expect. There's ball joint, stuff like that. Look at me, sound like I'm an actual toy reviewer. But no. Yeah, this is actually a really dope figure. Like I said, he has that rubbery feel I was talking about when I was looking at Kiryu Red, and especially on certain parts. But he's also solid where it needs to be, especially in the actual leg piece itself. But yeah, solid figure. I know he looks goofy, but he's actually really cool and powerful. I'm going to set him over here with Vulcan and open up our next figure. Amnesiac physicist becomes superhero. I present to you Kamen Rider build in his rabbit tank form. It's from the same line. is the Heisei Generations edition. They only did like a couple figures like that. I know they're planning on doing more. That's not what I was trying to cut. Oops. Okay. Alright. Crack them open. And just like X8, comes with some nice details on the side. Alright. Apparently his belt actually cranks. I might play with that a little bit. And here we are. There we go. Everybody knows blue is my favorite color. Shocker. So having this figure feels right. I'm just move his hands and other stuff out the way. And get to... I don't want to like grab it in a specific spot, so I just want to... Oh! Oh, that bends! Oh! Didn't notice that. Okay. And pull that there. There we go. Alright. Articulation tests. Not bad. I love how solid the colors are in this form. And the neck. Like I said, this one is a kit bash of two elements. The element of a tank itself, where you see the tire treads in the leg, and a rabbit. Hence the name Rabbit Tank. I love the eyes too a little bit actually. It's like, especially up here. I never noticed that when I was looking at the show at first. You see like a rabbit ear and the tank turret right there is front antenna. It's almost like they took from up top. Let's see. Arm articulation, not bad. There's really not much in the back, so I kind of saw that coming. It kind of reminds me of... Actually, hold on. I never noticed that a little bit. The backs, they have open back areas a little bit for theirs. But yeah. So yeah. The actual belt, I think it cranks. Yes, it does. That's how it transforms. Even the full bottles actually look really good with like the clear plastic. What can I say? Look at me pretend like I'm actually a toy reviewer. But yeah, the articulation's not that bad. I kind of wish the spring moved a little bit too, like in the show. But yeah. This is usually where he'll hold like all his full bottles for his other forms and stuff like that, which is, I always thought was funny. This can only hold up to 3 bottles, yet he can pull out like others from, I guess in the immortal words of my friend Morris, hammer space. But yeah, it's a dope figure. Alright. Now, for the part that gave me the most dread, the hands. That's the X8 box. Never mind, hold on. So this is what I get for unboxing 2 figures at once. Okay, so, same rule applies. Handle. I wonder. The drill for his sword form. Or shows. I always thought his melee weapon was kind of weird. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, this is the drill that he uses for melee. It also becomes his gun. In fact, I wonder, can I? Yep. So that means... Ta-da! Then, is this an extension? Or can this part come off? Yep, it can. Alright. I think it only does that for sword form. Gotta stop dropping stuff because I'm getting paranoid. Okay. Don't want to force it and break the figure. The figure's melee weapon. But yeah. Melee form. Sometimes I forget where the camera is depending on where I'm have it hang. And just so you can see the actual figures, the weapon itself. You can also put full bottles in here, so that way he can actually charge the weapon with the element of choice. Be right back. I'm going to switch his hand off camera. Why the heck did the hand go on easier for you than your best friend? Whatever. Weapon attachment time. Like I said, I always thought it was weird how he has a drill for his sword, but I guess because they were going for something different. But like most Toku weapons, I've noticed it turns into a gun anyway. So, which honestly I don't have a problem with. So I too am one for like weird things. Okay, that wasn't what I was trying to pull off. Ah! Okay. So I looked at that right. Right there. And then there we go. I like the extended handle for the for in gun form. Kind of looks right. Looks right. But yeah, articulation is actually really cool. I love how there's a little flap right here for the chest piece. So when you actually do take it apart and stuff like that. Also, I noticed the hands for both red and blue have a little hole in it, so that way he can crank the belt whenever he's about to use his finish, which is called the vortex finish, and that's actually really cool. But yeah, all in all, these two are actually really sick, and I'm glad I got them. Just wait till you see what I got at the end of the month. Well, should I say beginning of the month, because at the time of recording this is the 29th of June. So, you're going to be seeing this soon. But yeah, these two are going to be a welcome addition to my desk. Take it easy. Oh, forgive me. After I did all the editing, I thought I'd just come and relax. Didn't realize I kind of drifted. But if you're new here, why don't you subscribe? I have a lot of new content coming down the road. But if you've been here before, here's a random playlist of something I've done, and the most recent thing I've done here too. Take care.